everybody. Welcome back to Sideline Stories. I'm Emma.
I'm Blythe. I am here with Miss Destiny. I'm so excited to have you here today. She is a former women's basketball player at Clemson University and current assistant coach at Jacksonville State. Destiny, tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, your experience at Clemson, and how you got to where you are now.
Okay, thank you all for having me, first and foremost. Just to give you a little bit about me, I am a South Georgia girl, and I always tell people I'm from Georgia, not Atlanta. I'm a country girl. I actually grew up about an hour away from Tallahassee, Florida, so I'm really South. Started playing basketball around 6 years old. Grew up in a really athletic family. My mom and dad both played sports. So it was just instilled in me at a young age to, go out and compete, and I just really fell in love with basketball. So I stayed with it. Went to Pelham High School, won a state championship my senior year in high school. So that was amazing. And then the recruiting process came along, which is also very stressful and scary times. But went on my official visit to Clemson University, loved it, committed on my visit, which I didn't expect to do. Uh, my time at Clemson, I enjoyed it, wouldn't change it for anything in the world. Really enjoyed my 4 years there, was able to play, obviously, while being a student athlete, and just being able to get 2 degrees in 4 years at Clemson. So that's like my biggest nod, being an athlete there. But yeah, that's pretty much me and how I got to Clemson.
That's awesome. So, obviously, you've been a player your entire life. What was the transition like from player to now coach?
The hardest transition. We always talk about going from a player in high school to being a collegiate athlete. But for me, going from a player to a coach was extremely hard. And it's just because I was just there. So I want to get out there and do it for them. Like, just move out the way and let me do it. So getting past that part was a little tricky for me. But also just being able to think on the other side. And I think that's my greatest superpower right now is I was just in their shoes not too long ago. So I'm able to be relatable and kind of give them, well, you're thinking about it this way, but now that I'm on this side, think about it that way. So just being able to challenge them and use my experiences to help them navigate through their experience as well.
Now that's cool that you're now more focused on the strategy side of it
Yeah,
all. And you're like, in order for this to happen, you need to do this. Don't think that's cool. I like that you
right.
changed that mindset.
Yes.
But you're talking about your recruitment. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? How you recruited from high school into college?
Yeah, so my recruitment actually started pretty young. Had a few local Division II schools reach out to me. Some junior colleges reach out to me, maybe like eighth grade, seventh grade. So that was, exciting. It's like, oh, okay, they really couldn't talk to me at that point. Like they can offer you if you go to a camp or something like that. So just being able to know that, oh my goodness, I'm good enough to play college anywhere was just a blessing.
It's a good little ego boost. You say, yeah, I'm going to college for this.
Right. So then, as I transitioned to high school, obviously the recruiting started to pick up a little bit, and I actually received the offer from Georgia Tech, and I thought that that's where I was going to go. Obviously, I'm from Georgia, so it was like, oh my goodness, that'd be great. Could be an in-state kid. My family can come all the time. And then Clemson came in late my senior year, so that was like a limbo between the two. And then I went on my official to Clemson. I was like, it's something in these hills. The saying is real. Like I'm going to commit right now.
I was about to say, for the viewers that don't know the Clemson experience, don't know the culture there, for me, it's easy for me to say why
Right.
you chose. I know that. But for somebody that doesn't know the special parts about those hills and that place, what made you choose Clemson?
I remember because we drove there from Georgia. So I remember taking a nap and I woke up and I saw huge orange paws in the middle of the streets. And I was like, oh my goodness, like we're here. And it's just like a different vibe. Like you get this feeling. I always tell people it's not Clemson, but it's the people that are there that really make the place. They're authentic, they're genuine. Like you go into Publix and everyone knows who you are. They could care less if you started, you're on the bench, you're a manager. They just really want to take care of you and show you that they're grateful for you to being there. It's a community, it's a family atmosphere. Obviously, we all know about Clemson football, but the football players are like genuine people. They treat you like little sisters. So just being able to be in a place where you are supported, you're seen, you're valued, and cared about was really big for me. And then obviously, it's a great academic school as well, which has always been a focal point of my life because of my parents. But
Raised
it's
right.
something different, right? It's just something different about Clemson and just all of the networking opportunities and the experiences that you're able to get at Clemson just really set it apart from everywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously being a student athlete at Clemson too, and it's a tight knit group, and
Yeah,
just like you were saying, everybody knows everybody, and I think that's what's so special about the college in general is the college really is the town, and everybody
yeah,
knows everybody, and if you're involved really in anything, you really truly feel like you know everyone there.
yeah.
But my question is, as a student athlete, what would be your advice to someone that's a freshman like you who's showing up to campus for the first time, a little nervous? Not only are you carrying the weight of being a student, but also an athlete where there is so much pressure on you to be great, to win, to perform the right way. What would you tell somebody, and what would you would have known as a freshman?
Yeah, I think for me, don't be afraid to lean into your resources. The older I got at Clemson, I was like, you really have to try not to be successful here. Like, there's so many resources, there's so many people that care about you. We have Neary Enrichment Center, which is like the academic facility for student athletes. Go in there and spend all the time you need. There are so many people there that will help you register for classes, make sure you stay on top of your tutoring and study hall. So just being able to lean into the people that are there for you. Sometimes it can be intimidating. Freshmen, we want to figure it out our own way. Just let people help you. We're all independent at some point, but just being able to use what we are being blessed with at Clemson. And don't be afraid. The dumbest question is the question you don't ask. So ask all the questions you can and really just be a sponge, soak up all the knowledge that you can get.
That's awesome. So, being a student athlete on a game day, like walk us through your day. Do you have like superstitions that you have to like do every single time? Music you got to listen to. So, what was it like for you?
For me, it was obviously we have our shoot arounds in the morning. I have to go home, shower, and take a nap. I have to get a nap in
Yes,
somewhere.
nap.
um, but sometimes I actually didn't go home. I would just shower at Little John, but still take a nap like on the couch in the locker room. So nap first and foremost. Wake up, get myself together, put on my uniforms, go get my ankles taped. Our athletic trainer Donna was like our grandma, like we loved her. So I had to have my little pregame talks with her, and then go back in the locker room. And I was in charge of the ops, so set the vibes. I would kind of change it. I would get the mood of the room, and then we would just, get ready for the game. When TikTok became a thing towards my senior year, we would have to make a TikTok. Our
Oh,
coaches
yeah.
hated it. They hated it. So get some type of dancing in. I would always like tape around my wrist and write different things before the game. So, for example, sometimes I would put DYJ, which is do your job.
Mhm.
If my coach said like a short little quote to me during the week, I'm like, okay, I need to put that on there. So,
Remember that
just
one.
right, just something on my athletic tape on my wrist, and that was pretty much it. Chewing gum as well, but that would come out by the end of the first quarter because I talk too
That's what
much.
I do to focus. I always have to chew gum. I feel like I'm addicted at this point. So in, like, your games, did you have, like, a very memorable moment from your time there at Clemson?
um, I definitely remember our Virginia Tech game in the conference tournament my sophomore year, which was Coach Butler's first year there. We were having a great season. And I just didn't score a point in the first half and come out in the second half and hit like two threes back to back. And it was just electric. So just being in that game and having so much fun. We went on to win the game and then we later went to the NCAA tournament. So just knowing that that game really had a lot of momentum and carried us into the rest of our season was just like one of the highlights of my career.
So there's some new leadership at Clemson for this women's basketball program.
Yeah, that is exciting. Yes. I actually have known Coach Poppy since I was little, from when he was at Furman University. So we go way back. And then obviously he was the assistant coach at Virginia Tech. So we had a little ACC rivalry going on. And we've always kept in touch. Like he congratulates me whenever I get a new job, he checks in with me whenever I see him out on the road recruiting. So I'm super excited for him and the energy that he's going to bring in and excited to see what he does.
So would that be a place that you would ever want to go back and coach at?
Of course, I'm like, "Okay, listen, like, I'm an alum. We're cool."
Get
Yes,
in
that's
there.
awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, I could definitely see you doing that. But did you always want to coach, or how did you kind of fall into the coaching side of things?
So, I actually never really thought about it. During my senior year, I thought that I wanted to go into student athlete development. And then I woke up one day and I was like, no, like I love to talk and I love sports. We're gonna do sports broadcasting.
Yeah.
So I had like all of these meetings with different analysts and broadcasters. Like my coaching staff at the time did an amazing job networking me with people. And then COVID came, so that put a pause on like all the hands-on experience that I needed. So I had my end of the year meeting with Coach Butler. And she's like, "Have you ever thought about coaching? Like, I'm not pushing this on you or anything, but because I would spend like hours in her office, we'd stay up late nights texting, sending each other videos, and bouncing ideas off of each other. So I was like, okay, well, if you think this about me, then maybe." And my mom actually was my coach my whole life until Clemson. So it was always in me a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll go be a graduate assistant to see what I really want to do. And it took me maybe 2 months in at Tulane, and I was like, yep, I want to coach.
With coaching, and you've also been a player, what is more satisfying when you win? Like, coaching them or actually, like, being there playing? Or is it the same, but just, like, a different feeling?
Yeah, I actually ask myself that a lot. Obviously, there's a thrill when you're out there and you're in it, like you're in the grind. But on the coaching side of things, whenever it's my scout and we win, I'm like, oh my goodness, they listened to me, they perfected it, they did everything we were supposed to do, and we won. And it's just like a relief. And then you're just super proud of them, just seeing like how hard they work throughout the week, being there behind the scenes and like, shoot, some of them may be sick or they may be struggling, and just going out there and performing and then seeing the results, it's a great feeling for them.
What are some coaching techniques that you might have taken from your mom when she was your coach all of those years?
Yeah, I think my mom is just super authentic. And I respect that as a player. Like, I need someone that's going to keep it real with me. Like, okay, today is not your day to do X, but maybe we can try this instead. So just being able to take that from her, but also being like, she was an assistant coach. So I feel like the assistant coach, sometimes my job is to be the good cop.
Yes.
So whenever the head coach, is just on them really hard, I'm like, okay, but you're doing this really well. So just being able to be like a good sounding board for them. And then just being selfless, like whatever I need to do. I need to mop the floors today. Okay, cool. I got it.
Yeah.
So being able to take those little things from my mom has been great for me so far.
So you guys are probably gearing up already. What are you excited about for your team at Jacksonville State this year?
Yes, I'm just excited for some of our newcomers that we brought in. We have 4 newcomers this year. We have a lot of returners. And it was the opposite for us last year. We had a whole lot of newcomers. So this year, with them returning, they know what we want, they know the system. We were new into the conference last year in Conference USA. So now they know what to expect. So just being able to hit the ground running with them is just super exciting. I'm excited to see, where all it takes us this year.
That's awesome. Well, this is a football podcast, so we have to talk a
Yes.
little football for sure. Rewinding back to Clemson football, have you watched any games this year? What's your thoughts on the team? Have you been to any games this year? I know you're probably busy coaching with it. The season's kind of overlapping, but
Right.
um, who are your top teams that you have watched this year?
I always follow my Clemson Tigers. Like, I'm locked in whenever whenever they play. I'm always watching them. I really also enjoy watching Colorado. Obviously, they're exciting. They're fun. Like, you can watch the last 4 minutes and you're entertained. So
That's Shador Sanders, man. He knows how to pull it through in the 4th quarter.
yes, yes. And then obviously, I watch our football team here. They actually made a bowl game last year, and I like to call us the Jack State Thrill because we play in the midweek. So, and we won a lot of games last year within like the last 3 minutes. Like, we play really fast, so it's exciting. Um, and really anyone like out Saturdays, I just spend watching college football because that's our off day, luckily.
Yes.
So I spend a lot of time watching football.
Now, I do have to ask this. Okay. Since we're both Clemson Tigers, how
Yes.
long did it take you getting used to saying "Go Gamecocks"?
Oh,
You
oh
were
my
at
goodness.
Jacksonville State, and you
Yes.
guys are the Gamecocks. That's
Yes. Okay. So when I
really weird for me.
yes, when I accepted the job, I said I have one thing that's going to be very hard, and they were like, "What?" I said, "We are Gamecocks." I said that doesn't sit right in my spirit.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Right, exactly. I can't do it, guys. I was like, it's gonna take me some time. I'll get there. Um, I said when I announce it to my Clemson people, I have to make sure I say Jacksonville State.
Yes.
You know, so it was a really big adjustment.
I can imagine so. We
Yes,
were talking about that earlier before this. I said, I've got to ask her this because when I saw that you even took that job, that was one of my thoughts too. I was like,
I
oh,
know.
she's gonna have to say go Gamecocks. This is gonna be
It's gonna be
interesting.
a problem.
It is, but all jokes aside, I mean, being obviously an athlete and seeing the success that that basketball team in Columbia has had, I mean,
Yeah,
that is amazing for the state of South Carolina for sure.
correct.
Coach Staley, great person, great coach, very easy program to buy into
Yes,
and their success and hopefully, with this new leadership at Clemson, it'll make that game a little bit more interesting for the
right.
years to come. Well, if that's going to wrap up our interview, I am so excited for you this year. Always thank you. You've been one of my very best friends at Clemson, one of my first interviews I have ever done. So I love watching you, following you wherever you go. It's been a blast. And be sure to like and subscribe to our page. And we will see you guys on the next Sideline Stories.